Good afternoon, you beautiful souls. Happy Thursday. So today I thought I'd do a video daily energy guidance check-in for the collective energy. Please take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. So today I've checked in with the energy, see what's going on. And we have the Five of Cups, the Ace of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. So I feel like this reading is about focusing on loss or sadness and grief, and I will show you the cards in a minute. Focusing on the things that are in front of you, that's a loss. And if you turn it, I'm going to show you the cards because I can't explain it. So the Five of Cups, I feel like you are focusing on loss and what's spilt over in front of you. So this could be focusing on past. This Five of Cups is also about sadness and grief and loss. But if we focus on that too much, it can put us down into a low vibrational energy. With that being said, it is okay to feel into that. You need to feel into that in order to heal it. And I feel like this is what this reading is about. It's about some form of loss, grief, or sadness that is going in your life. But look deeper into it. Into what lesson is it teaching about you? Because we've got the Ace of Cups, which is about pouring into self. And then we've got the Four of Pentacles, which can be, you can look at it two ways. Holding on too tightly or building a solid foundation. Now, for me, I feel like this is the latter. So it's building a solid foundation. So for me, I feel like you are in a time of sadness and grief. You know, he's wearing a dark cloak. So you could be feeling on the lower end of the vibrational energy. Or you could be just feeling in a darker mood or sadness and grief. This can also be shadow side as well. Working with shadow side. Now, shadows and light side are to be embraced together. It's who we are. But it's about what lessons do you need to learn from them? What are we suppressing down with the shadow side that we need to bring to the surface, to the light, and all that's okay. So I feel like you are focusing on either sadness, loss, or grief. Something's gone on in your life that is making you feel sad, and you are focusing on it far too much. Like, yes, it is okay to feel that, but maybe sometimes we have to turn it around because otherwise it takes over and that becomes all that we think about. It consumes us far too much. But if you turn around and look, there is options behind you, and you can get over the bridge and look at the opportunities that are there. But when you're focusing on this, in the sadness and the grief and the loss, you're blocking yourself from other opportunities. But I feel like you are blocking yourself to heal yourself, because the Ace of Cups is like, it's a divine gift coming in, offering to you of an emotional fulfillment. And I feel this is more like shadow and light work. So you could be going through the dark night of the soul, and it is very hard work. I've been there myself. It's very hard work. And we get into this, we need to start looking at what it is, what we're focusing on, and how we can turn it around and look at other options to bring it to light or to heal from it. What is it surfacing up in us? Because with the Ace of Cups, then I feel like you can use these lessons as blessings to pour into self. Start assessing what this sadness and grief is, and it is okay to feel that. And how do you learn to move forward and heal from that? What work do you need to do to turn your darkness into light, turning your pain into power, being an alchemy of your own life? Because the Ace of Cups is all about emotional fulfillment. Cups are about emotions. And I feel like you need to pour into self, because you've not been pouring into self, and you are just in a state of sadness and grief and loss. But if you do look, there is a lovely castle up there. There is white and light, and like, I like this card because when you look at it in the dark, you can see the white aura. There is light in the dark, but sometimes we have to start questioning the dark. And is this energy serving us any good now? How do we how can we get help? How do we move forward to turn this lesson into a blessing and pour into self? And that could be self-care. You need to now start pouring into yourself and get curious about yourself and starting to learn and to love yourself, because it all starts with self, you know. So ask yourself, if you are going through challenging times, what are these showing you about yourself? You know, what's it bringing up? Because things are normally like mirrors of ourselves. So, like, I'm just going to say sadness. If you was feeling sadness and grief and loss all the time, what's the opposite of that? Happiness, joy, enlightenment, love, unconditional love. So you could be also not loving yourself enough, self-abandoning self, and need to pour into yourself. So you can start getting curious about asking yourself these questions. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. Pentacles is all about what is in our current material 3D realm. Money, work, home, you know, that sort of dynamic. Cars, financial. And I feel like you are building a solid foundation, or will build a solid foundation. If you can learn to turn whatever this sadness is and feel it. Yes, it's okay to feel it, but ask the questions of, what is this showing me about myself? Then when you turn around in the other direction, there's 2 cups to pour into self first, and you can start walking towards your divine gift of Ace of Cups, pouring into self. Start putting yourself and prioritizing yourself first. Once you start doing that and you start seeing the healing work, or the better times come in, and this could be as well with job loss. You could have lost a job and it's making you feel the sadness and grief, and you feel like you're not getting anywhere in life, and you're looking for jobs constantly, but nothing's coming up. Just know that there is always light in the darkness. And I know if you are going through a tough and dark time, it doesn't seem like it, but I'm telling you, there is always hope and there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Start pouring into self. Practice self-care while you're waiting to get a job, or if you are in sadness and grief, start doing something other than focusing on the sadness that makes you feel a little bit of joy and happiness. Start by baby steps, pouring into self, and then you will start building a solid foundation for yourself that's grounded. And maybe this is as well, you need to do a grounding meditation, because the energies at the minute, I think Mercury is still retrograde until around the 20th of March, and especially if you're an earth sign, I do it every day now. I feel like we need to ground our energy a lot more, because we can start over-consuming on thoughts and past moments. So it is just about pouring into self-care, grounding, focusing. How can you build a stable, solid foundation for yourself? This is what I feel like these cards are saying. Then I pulled 2 cards from the Divine Timing Oracle deck. And the first one was, obsessing over timing creates blocks. Yeah, don't just be in the present moment. That's all we have right now. You know, don't focus too much on the past, because it keeps us stuck, and also focusing on the future can maybe block things coming in, because we're focusing on it too much instead of listening to ourselves and our own intuition and our own inner guidance. Because we're focusing on maybe like that thing is what we should be having, and it might not even be our path. We might be directed somewhere else. So obsessing over timing creates blocks. So just go with the flow of energy. Just be present every day and ask yourself, what can I do that creates myself some joy and happiness? And then the next one was around March. Now we're in March now, and like I say, Mercury is retrograde until the 20th of March, I think it is, and then there's something else going on. The energies are quite all over the place and quite heavy, so you maybe are feeling this energetic happening, like quite intense. So if this is you, and especially if you're an earth sign, I do think that you should ground yourself every day. Just do a 5-minute or 10-minute grounding meditation, because I've had to start doing it because I feel like I've added it into my meditation. So yeah, I feel like you need to stop focusing on, not necessarily stop, but be aware that you are focusing on the negatives. Turn around and ask yourself, how can I get a positive situation out of this negative situation? How do I move forward? And with that, you'll start creating that solid, grounded foundation in yourself, which then will start to open endless possibilities for you going forward. Because we need to be grounded in our energy and stop focusing on the past, the future. Just be present with where you are and ask yourself, what can I do that brings me some joy? And then it says around March, so like I say, it could be to do with the Mercury retrograde, or this could be, like I said, if it was a job, you maybe hear something by the end of March. You've been applying for lots of jobs. Now, I did pull an Archangel Oracle card, and I'm going to read from the book. And we've got Archangel Christine. Accept Christ's light, act with wisdom and loving compassion. And always do things from a place of love. And it all starts from loving yourself first and learning to love yourself. So with this card, let's have a look. Archangel Christine, accept Christ's light. And that can be, you could be God, it could be universe, source energy, Christ, Jesus, whatever it is for you, whatever your religion is. You know, for me, it's universe, source energy. I'm a big fan of universal flow energy. You know, that's who I relate to, or source energy. So, Archangel Christine, accept the light, act with wisdom and loving compassion. Archangel Christine is the twin flame of Archangel Jophiel and carries the divine feminine light of wisdom with loving compassion. This beautiful golden archangel holds and radiates Christ's light when your crown chakra becomes the fifth dimensional. She places a ball of cosmic wisdom into it, infusing the 100,000 petals with light and attracting beautiful energies to you. Archangel Christine is helping those who are on ascension to a path to proceed with wisdom, also to help others on their path. She shares a retreat with Archangel Jophiel, a glorious earthic golden temple over the mountains of northern China. Together they are bringing to release some of the wisdom held in the land in the east in order to help the planetary ascension. Guidance. Your guidance is to open up to Archangel Christine and allow her to fill you with Christ's light as well as wisdom. Know that from the moment you invoke her, she starts to pour unconditional love and golden wisdom into you. She helps you experience everyone and everything from enlightened perspective. Take a moment to feel her energy flowing into your mind, then consciously beam the light you have received to others. Archangel Christine calls you to approach every person you meet today with wisdom and loving compassion. Notice how they respond to you. In addition, treat situations around you with sagacity, can't even say the word, sagacity, to the exact extent that you exude wisdom and loving compassion. Archangel Christine will help your life transform. And that is like literally what that reading is. You know, you're in the darkness. And this could be also a karmic twin flame journey, that you felt sadness, grief in your relationship and it threw you into the shadow work, or you're still focusing on what happened. That is then time to pour into self. When you can pour into self and learn to love yourself, you will draw the energy back into you, but you have to create that solid foundation in yourself first and be grounded and do the shadow work, because not all twin flame journeys are all about both people having to do the work to come to union. The twin flame journey can just be about yourself. And when you go into that shadow work, because this has been my journey, when you go into something triggers the shadow side that you start questioning yourself. And for mine, it was betrayal. And it threw me into a dark night of the soul, and I started my spiritual awakening. And with that, you start questioning everything about your reality, what you thought was perfect, and then you do that dark, deep shadow work, and it's about your own divine, feminine, and masculine energies coming together as well, into one union in self, and you are the unconditional love, right? And then once you get that, you come back with firm boundaries. You know who you are. You've built that solid foundation. You've done the dark night of the soul. You love yourself unconditionally. That you're not going to settle for anything less than your worth. And you will call and radiate that energy out. And then you will find your divine counterpart, your other half. Your soulmate, your karmic twin flame, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, take these how they resonate for you. Please do leave behind what's not for you. What is for you, take it. Also, please do, if you like my page and content, please do subscribe, like, share, and just spread the love. I love bringing these to you. I absolutely love it. And just remember, every lesson for us, treat it as a blessing. What is it trying to show you about yourself? Because then you get the wisdom of your own life to share and help other people with that. How amazing is that? And just know, we all have angels. Everybody has angels, but they live on free will. Call in your angels to help you if you need guidance on how to move forward. Watch out for synchronicities. Just trust in yourself. And start pouring into yourself. Ask yourself, is this current situation, if you are feeling sad, serving you? And if not, how can you change your perspective on it? How can you turn these lessons into blessings to start pouring into self, learning to love yourself? Because this is a divine gift coming in. It's coming in to teach you to learn to love yourself, because you are light. We're all light and dark, but it's about embracing them both together and not being ashamed of any part of it. Embrace them both together in union. You become the unconditional love, and you build that solid foundation for yourself and for what you want out of life. Now, I hope this reading helps. I've loved it. It's been a beautiful message. Have a blessed rest of your day. Peace, love and light. Donna. Namaste.